Welcome back, folks. It's time now for, I guess, what's going to be our deciding game number 3. We've only played one game. It's a best-of-3 finals, but there's a winner's bracket advantage. So, of course, I'm LD. I'm joined by Zariori, and yeah, it's tied up 1-1 now, buddy.
Yeah, if DK can actually do this, this will create an interesting storyline. DK and Newbee were in the same group, and DK lost in that best of one, and then Newbee were actually the team that knocked DK down to the loser's bracket in the actual playoffs.
So they've already lost 2 games.
Yeah, so if DK can come back and do a 2-0 sweep with a 1-game disadvantage in the grand finals, that's a spicy little storyline there. I like it.
Yeah, I honestly think Newbee played better than them for like 80% of the game, but
Yeah.
the start was so abysmal. They gave up first blood on the Chen, just to a Mushi Torrent. There was no setup for it even. They couldn't get in range for disruption. They didn't have a Lucent Beam, and then they followed that up with How just kind of clumsily walking up the hill.
Walking on up and, oh, hey, guys. Oh, shit, you guys have all your stuff available.
There's still 5 heroes here. Whoops. So he died. Then they gave up the kill mid, I believe it was.
Yeah, they killed the Bat Rider.
They were losing every lane, and they still almost came back and won the game. So with that being said, the game is underway, guys. It's time now for our deciding game number 3. Here we go.
So DK had first pick here, and they grabbed the Mirana straight away. Newbee don't hand over the Shadow Demon, and they will pick it up as well as a Slark, but DK right there with a second pick Naga. So a couple of scary heroes picked up right away, and again, the Dire team, the ones opting to ban out the Lycan. This is just flying in the face of what a lot of pros told me at the Summit, LD. That if you're Dire, you'd almost never have to ban Lycan because you can just take him if you don't.
Yeah, I mean they obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to make sense of it,
right?
Because
it is a bit odd.
He was all the talk at the Summit, so it's fresh in my mind, but I don't know. Is there a hidden strategy lurking beneath the surface here?
This is not like a one-team thing either. Both teams have banned Lycan.
Yeah.
At this point, Newbee did it this game. DK did it last game on the Dire side as well, and it seems like the Mirana and the Shadow Demon are kind of the two highest priority heroes who aren't getting banned. Last game we saw Bat Rider given away. Newbee not going to give that one away themselves, even though it didn't work for them. And well, we'll see how things go from here. But it is a little bit curious.
Yeah, for sure.
Naga was the follow-up pick for DK. We saw a Burning Naga. I think it was in the very first match of this tournament for the playoffs. But and I believe they won. He had like 800 gold per minute. Total free farm Naga. I'm not sure if they'll give away that amount of farm to him again. Newbee going for Shadow Demon Slark. This is more of a pressure lineup. They want to get aggressive fairly early on. And if this is indeed a farming Naga, we are not going to see Newbee roll over and let DK free farm. They might end up winning, but they will try and contest and pressure this Naga.
Yeah, and it will be a Kunkka ban from Newbee, so Mushi won't be able to throw boats around this game, and likewise DK will ban out the Dark Seer. So you see that Dark Seer have a pretty big impact last game. Xiao ended up grabbing a fair bit of farm, and by the end of the game, he had himself a Scythe of Ice, BKB, Blink, and was able to connect with some pretty decent vacuum wall combos. DK will fourth ban the Tide Hunter. So a lot of familiar faces here being banned out in what will be the last game of this series.
Yeah, so DK banned Tide, a hero that can just force the issue down the middle lane for just 5-man fairly early on. Before Naga gets strong. Also, Anchor Smash is amazing against her illusions through the mid game. Obviously, later on, the illusions get tanky and it's not as effective. But yeah, we'll see what they go for here.
Whoa, Bloodseeker.
He is kind of, people call him the Slark counter. That might be a slightly strong word, but he is very good against Slark. That is for sure. The Thirst prevents him from getting the passive regen. I believe the popular line of thought now is that you just get Tranquil Boots, which somewhat negates that. Sure, you don't get your bonus regen from the ultimate, but you just get the Tranquil Boot regen anyway, as long as you're not being auto-attacked. Yeah. And Bloodseeker Silence, very strong as well. If you get it off on Slark, he ain't going anywhere. So,
it's not the craziest ban.
They just want to make sure the Slark snowballs, basically. They don't want someone to shut him down in the mid-game easily, and Bloodseeker probably one of the best heroes to do that with.
Yep. It's one of those, you're right. It does secure some safety for the Slark, and we have seen DK pick the Bloodseeker once or twice in certain situations.
They ran it once in the Summit, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was against Slark.
I honestly got to watch less of the games at our... It was our own LAN finals, and I feel like I barely got to watch the games, because we were so busy just running around making sure everything was going as smoothly as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, room for improvement there, but we were focused on making sure the event went well, and the person who was casting obviously is covering the games. But if you weren't casting, you were at the viewing party on the last day.
Yeah. The last day I wasn't even at the house at all. I was at the viewing party for almost 12 hours. They did a 10 to 10 at the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That day started quite fun, but yeah. So
Ended quite fun as well.
If we say anything ignorant about our own event, guys, it's because we watched our own event less than most other tournaments we cover for the finals. But
Yeah.
that was well worth it. So Newbee goes Centaur here. They go for another great early to mid game pressure hero, and they're just looking to take the fight to DK. I think face rush is a fairly apt term for the way they're drafting so far.
Yeah, and a good way to go about it up against the Naga. You know, I guess it's possible that they could use this Naga as a support. They could do some sort of an aggro tri-lane with a Mirana Naga +1, and, well, they'll grab a Lion. So still support Naga, not completely out of the question, but if Newbee are assuming this is a farming Naga, the face rush type strategy is certainly not a bad way to go about it. But DK with Lion, Mirana, and Naga, plenty of disable and plenty of burst damage as well across, the Mirana and the Lion in particular, but can get pretty bursty with the Naga as well in the early levels with that Riptide spam.
Yeah, Hex isn't. It's just DK just runs the Lion so well. MMY definitely the most famous for his Lion play. Used to actually play solo mid back in the day before Smoke was introduced to the game, and we saw a different pool of heroes normally going mid. But he's long since transitioned to a support role. He's generally the Lion player, though Lanham certainly can play it, and we'll see which way they want to go. With the Mirana here, it looks like a Burning Naga that probably means support Mirana and support Lion. Doesn't have to be, though. It could be a support Naga. And the one thing is they don't really have the best setup for Arrow if they run Mirana Lion as their two supports. If it's Naga, Net's a bit more reliable, and you can put the Mirana and Naga in the same lane. So, well, we'll see what direction they want to go here. But they have okay Arrow setup. It's not the best, though.
Yeah, and Newbie will grab Viper, so even more mid-game oriented heroes here, LD, and this is just...
This is classic, this is like classic Shao 8 Dota. Just draft a lineup, they can just 5-man you, get the early just slight advantage, and just snowball it. So they get a mech on the Viper, a blink on the Centaur, either a blink or a drums on the Slark, and they just go at you at the towers. And they fight constantly, whereas DK... Finger's got a very long cooldown early game. Naga Song is only going to be used defensively this game, I feel. DK are going to have to be very careful. If they waste a Naga ultimate, if they waste a Finger to a lesser extent, Newbee can easily take 2 towers off of that, take a Roche, and just snowball the game.
Yeah, and DK will think about this 4th pick quite a bit here, and this should be the pretty telling pickup, and we should be able to discern at least whether it'll be a Naga or a Mirana. Farming away, supporting away, and
that does seem to be the tri-lane most likely. I think when Burning ran it, he did go safe lane Naga.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure he did.
Well, there's your off laner with the Elder Titan.
Good stalling hero. You drop the Elder Titan illusion, the Naga comes in and Riptides the wave. It's a bit of a turtley off laner in this game, I would say.
Yeah.
Also makes for a very scary Finger of Death in theory.
Yeah, scary Finger, and also the scary Naga. Once she gets a little bit of farm under her belt, that natural order will certainly come in handy here. But, yeah, I guess it's a good stalling hero. He's good defending high ground for sure.
Yeah, to me, this Elder Titan is like, we just want to go late. We want to just hold on to our towers as long as possible, give Burning time to farm up on the Radiant, get the Radiance. Again, assuming it's a carry Naga, which... I'm slightly leaning towards. It could be support Naga and support Lion, though. It's not a bad duo by any means.
Yeah.
And the other option is they could be running a support Elder Titan, though. That, I think, is less likely. It's something that IG has done a decent amount in the past. They were running support Elder Titan to go with Ember Spirit.
Oh,
and basically, Ember Spirit will Sleight of Fist Searing Chains, and then Elder Titan has perfect setup to get off his stomp because they're held in place by Searing Chains. So... That's why we see. I think that's why we see Newbee ban the Embers. They're probably like, well, this could still be a support Elder Titan. And they could even squeeze in a core Ember Spirit here, perhaps.
When DK,
that would be pretty greedy, though.
Yeah, 5th ban the Enigma. Yeah, I don't know about the Ember Spirit. That's one of those setups that, like, yeah, it's nice. You get a free Echo Stomp, but you're committing a lot with those 2 picks for just sort of a nice, easy setup. And
it would also just be super greedy at that point. Like, you've got 3 cores that need a lot of levels in farm, whether it's Naga, Mirana, Ember, or...
Even Lion needs some farm.
And your supports,
he wants to hit level 6. He's looking for that early Finger, and The support Elder Titan is, in my opinion, just a little bit lackluster. He's another one of these heroes that he just needs that baseline of farm. You really want to do that 0-4-4-0 build, and you just need experience for that.
Newbie go tree.
There you have it.
Very tanky. Actually, DK are not very well equipped to deal with the tree here. They don't. They have basically no damage over time. So living armor is going to be pretty scary.
So what could they take here to try and cut through this tree? If they wanted to push, a Dragonite is one that comes to mind, though I'm not sure. He could work okay here if they want to do that tri-lane with an off-lane Elder Titan. Darkseer's already been banned out.
Dragonite kind of gets dealt with by Slark and Viper in the laning stage,
Yeah.
though, especially when one of them could have living armor on their side. But yeah, he's probably the best hero to deal with living armor. There is Jakiro, also a decent counter pusher.
Yeah.
I think they already have their 2 supports, though. We'll see Troll.
Okay. So the attack
This
speed.
is something Mouse has been running quite a bit as of late.
All right.
Fada. So the way Fada plays the Troll is, oftentimes he'll go, unless they have another mech builder. Fada loves mech. He goes mech on Dragonite, and he goes mech on Troll too. So let's see what Mushi does this game. This is very interesting, though.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I haven't seen too much Troll recently, at least in the games I've gotten to cast. It's been a while since I've casted a Mouse game, but
the main thing that really hurt Troll was they nerfed the whirling axes. They reduced the damage significantly, so he just didn't flash farm or push the lane as quickly. It used to be a very, very strong nuke. It still has the same blind effect, but it's just the damage got reduced dramatically over the past few patches for the melee whirling axes. So
yeah,
he's not as good of a Bottle Crow mid hero. Not to say he's bad, but it used to be he could just easily push out the lanes without any real effort.
Yeah. Well,
he excels, I would say, against like melee DPSers because that's where they're almost guaranteed to get hit by the blind, or if you have a really strong pushing lineup and you can take advantage of his ultimate.
And his ultimate also good for taking out Roche. So any kind of flash farming like that as a team can be pretty effective. So I'm excited to see a little bit of troll action here, LD. It will be burning on the Naga Siren, so needless to say, position 1, hard farming Naga will be a reality. Ilanam going to be on the Lion, MMY on the Mirana, so those will be your 2 supports. Ice 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 in the offlane Elder Titan, and Mushi on that troll, as we've already talked about. So fairly straightforward lanes, and nothing too tricky about it.
Man, this production value. I really wish they'd give us full screen camera shots, but unfortunately, we don't want to miss the action as the Chinese stream is a tiny bit delayed. So, no camera shot of DK for you guys. Only Newbie, because we're Newbie fanboys here. Yes.
Well, Newbie will get a observer ward down on the inside of the tree line, and they'll also get a ward down on not quite the magic bush, but will block the pole camp here. So their initial invade successful. They'll also put down their other observer here on the high ground to give some vision to that bottom rune.
They got there pretty quickly. And DK, do they even have sentry wards? They do on Lanham. Let's see if he finds these. He's being very cautious here. DK do not want to get caught and start giving up first bloods the way that Newbie did in game number... Well, I guess it was game number 2, technically. The first game that was actually played in the series.
Yeah, it always gets confusing when there's that first game advantage. This is technically game 3. Game 1 was that winner's bracket advantage for Newbie, and game 2 was that first match we streamed.
You know where you can't win with that situation is on the YouTube VODs.
Oh, yeah. There's
no matter what you do, people get mad.
Yep.
If you call it game 2, they're like, spoilers. It's like, no, they didn't play game 1, dude. It's fine. Nothing was spoiled. And if you just put game 1, then people are like, oh, it's so confusing.
Oh,
so
YouTube.
That's a no-win situation.
Yeah, and people are just looking for more ammunition to get angry in YouTube comments. I don't know what it is about YouTube that just brings out everyone's inner rage, but it's become the public forum to voice all of your concerns about your daily life.
Well, it certainly does that. So looking at top lane, it's a Shadow Demon Slark. Pretty strong killing combo against Elder Titan. Slark can do a lot of early game burst damage. If they get off a Soul Catcher and they leap onto him, that's, if not a guaranteed kill, then he's using up pretty much all his regen. But it's not the best initiation, and a lot of this will come down to if the tree gets active early. Doesn't look like it. Oh, almost got the initiation bottom lane.
Yep, Banana's just stacking up in the jungle right now. DK did not invade, so he gets a stack in the pole camp here. We'll pull it and get some top lane control for Newbie. So Banana actually still hasn't skilled anything yet either. Still perhaps thinking about grabbing a point in Leech Seed and moving in for some early aggression, but being a little bit more passive right out of the gate.
This Lion Mirana combo, again, to kind of go back to what I was mentioning earlier, it's not the best initiation for an arrow. Like, the net's pretty strong, but Burning's going to be at the wave farming, so if you're trying to zone an offlaner out in this situation, like he's sitting around here, your Naga's not going to walk up to try and net him unless somebody else stuns him first. And they want to go now, but there's no Mirana. MMY's going mid, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, at least they are zoning him out, and Burning is getting absolute free farm. He is 9 and 6. And these initial waves of creeps.
It just really hurts that observer ward you mentioned earlier. They have not been able to deward it. They were just out of range.
Ooh. Yeah, that really hurts.
In fact, they also didn't get the camp.
Yeah, they burned 2 sentries and got nothing.
Both of their sentries.
Ouch.
They haven't dewarded the observer ward. They haven't dewarded the camp block. And meanwhile, Moo gets sniped mid lane. Can this be our first blood for Mushi? I think it might be. Living armor.
But it's only level 1.
He's got the
Can
range
Mushi finish him off?
Got him, boy!
Close call, but now comes the Leech Seed from Big Bad Tree. Banana won't be able to chunk him down as MMY rotates forward, and DK off to another good start here, LD. Mushi with that first blood gold.
What an amazing arrow. MMY really threaded the needle there. That was, when you shoot an arrow like kind of across the lane with 2 waves meeting and enemy hero likely to be moving back and forth mid, that is a very difficult angle to connect from, but he threaded the needle.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
So they needed that, because like you look at bottom, what else are they going to do? Like, they don't have sentries.
Yeah, but even though they don't have the pole camp here and they whiff their sentries, Burning's still keeping this creep equilibrium exactly where he needs it to be. Still the last hit leader by a couple up on the Slark, and has the creeps just right outside of his tower, so there's no way this Centaur can press forward and safely grab experience. He's only halfway through level 2 and still just pretty much zoned out. Meanwhile, Ice, struggling a similar plight here. Very early on into level 2 and not much else to his name.
Yeah, it's not an easy offlane for either lineup. As we see Moo get caught out mid, this could easily be another kill.
Yep, he'll get hexed up, living armor once again, but Mushi will be able to bring him down. That's another kill, and actually gets hit by the Radiant, so not ideal. They were trying to give it to the Troll, but still, a kill's a kill on this Viper in deep doo-doo. Now only 10 CS to his name. Meanwhile, Mirana will finish off the Centaur down in the bottom.
Yeah, it was just a net into an arrow, and again, not the strongest support combo for setting up arrows, but the Naga does make up for that. And, well, you know, what do you do here? If you're Newbee or DK, neither offlaner can really go woods, so they just gotta tough it out.
Ice could be in some trouble. Sansheng rotating up top, 2 points in the Soul Catcher as he is sitting level 3, but won't find the opening. Meanwhile, down bottom, Banana gets scouted out. Lanham, there's a Centaur.
That's a dead lion.
Hoof stomp, no double edge, but doesn't matter. Turns Banana into a fish, and actually, will he survive? The arrow connects onto Banana. Xiao 8, not enough mana for a hoof stomp, but Moo comes over, and they'll just right-click him down. So.
I was like, oh, that's a dead lion, then I realized he's level 2. He doesn't actually have any points of double edge.
Yeah.
He almost got away there. If the Viper didn't rotate in, I'm pretty sure he lives.
Yep, I think so as well.
That's a level 1 Leech Seed, so quite a long cooldown. 16 seconds early on. I mean, look at the bigger picture for DK. They are getting good farm on the Naga, and she's not really being pressured, and the Troll has gotten a kill, so he's already level 6. You do have to look at Troll Ultimate plus a Naga. Their split push will be very strong later on. Yeah,
and Newbee supports are smoked up, rotating their way towards the mid. Tree is level 2, so Living Armor and Leech Seed. Sansheng still sitting on level 3. It looks like they do want to gank this Troll and try to slow down some of Mushi's momentum. He is level 7, 2 levels up on the Viper. I almost said Invoker.
The Inviper.
The Inviper.
So, just keep on saying words.
Oof. But, yeah, Mushi is off to the races here, and if they can set up a gank on him.
It's a very tough kill. He has phase boots, and Troll and melee form is extremely fast.
And Lanham is inbound as well. Disruption to start things off. Will connect with an Earth Spike onto Banana, and he'll just walk away. They don't even do any damage to him. Meanwhile, in the jungle, though, Xiao 8 and MMY going blow for blow. But, no. No kills coming out. Both sides just poking each other.
That is unfortunate. They 3-man gank mid, and honestly, I don't even know if they get the Troll, even if it's a 3v1. It was really nice support play by Lanham. He impales one, hexes the other, and hexes the hero that needs to go in next, which was the Viper. They'd already used everything else, and, well, as a result, makes it out scot-free. But a lot of basically wasted time here. Although...
Mushi perhaps in some trouble. The hoof stomp arrow flies through, and Xiao 8, the one taking a lot of damage. Viper strike out on the Troll, and he will fall. They'll continue to pursue, but the rest of DK will hop back into the trees and be A-okay. So Newbee get their second kill on the board, and it is Mushi that takes the tumble.
Yeah, that's a much-needed kill. You mentioned how high-level Mushi is. Now that goes right back the other way. It's all part of the plan, man. Just feed Mushi and then kill him, and it's like fattening up a cow, basically.
Yeah, there you go.
You know? Getting it ready for harvest.
Xiao 8 rotating over towards the mid lane. It is just an MMY hanging out there. And they may try and set something up. Up top, though, Ice 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 in some trouble, and he'll take a tumble. Now Mushi TP's in. Hao taking a lot of damage from the Whirling Axes. Will take a few tower shots. Living Armor helps to top him off. Has no ultimate. Already used the Shadow Dance.
He's going to want to leap over the trees here. Probably go back down into the river if possible. And yeah, that'll be the plan.
Yep, and
well
he'll be just fine unless this arrow hits him. And it will! Oh, from downtown, as they say, LD.
Oh, there's no follow-up, though. Ugh.
What a beautiful arrow.
What a wasted but beautiful arrow. You know, it's like, you couldn't have asked for a better one. Just didn't have the damage.
Yep. And Xiao 8 still hiding in the trees here near the mid lane. Lanham tucked away under his tower, and Mu just getting a lot of space to make some recover.
Ultimately, burning is still free farming, though, and this has to be a slight concern for Newbee. Their key initiator is the Centaur, and he's not having a good time. Just Tranquil Boots, only level 4 to 8 minutes. Without a blink on him, their chances of actually killing burning are pretty slim. Like, that's their... They have that, Overgrowth, and Disruption, but you're not getting in close to Overgrowth or Disrupt if he's got Song. I'll just Song him TP out, so... I'm still a little worried here if I'm Newbee. They're giving Bernie a lot of space. Yeah,
they absolutely. And he's still about 5 CS up on the Slark, so even though they're trading semi-evenly, it's obvious who the harder carry is. So well on his way to his relic, about 2,500 gold, sitting in savings there for old Burning. Just Brown Boots and Ring of Basilius, as well as that Stout Shield to his name.
Yeah, normally see the Aquila completed. Just a very good value item, and it doesn't waste an inventory slot, but... Hey, why spend the 500 gold if you're not being pressured? Just get that relic out a bit quicker.
Exactly, and Slark will actually go for a farm accelerator as well. That's a hand of Midas following his power treads.
Well, I guess they're thinking right now is Viper's not really ready to fight. He's been shut down, and our Centaur's not ready to fight. He's nowhere near a blink or his ultimate. So, with those two factors in mind, I don't think this was the initial game plan, like to go Midas on Slark. But given the way the game's developed, by the time they're ready to fight, it might be too late. Like, Bernie might already have Radiance by then, so maybe they have to do this.
Yeah, this is a little scary for Newbee, but you're right. Maybe they're hoping that they don't want to take it late, but the Hand of Midas will kick in for the mid-game when Burning is still trying to come online. Even if he has an early Radiance, that won't make him too tanky, so still plenty of opportunities to try and set up kills on the Naga. There will be a rotation from Newbee down bottom, and, whoa, Lion will actually get picked off in the mid lane, but down bottom is where we want to look. Disruption is set up onto the Naga. Burning has the Song of the Siren. Pops it straight away, and as you mentioned, this is what happens when you try to gank a Naga with an ultimate. He just walks away.
You know, Mushi is posting up a Moo mid. He actually had a haste turn, but when Troll is getting aggressive against Viper, that's a pretty scary situation. Troll should be the one on the back foot at this stage, not tower diving him, but Mushi with the phase boots online, now level 8 as well, is having a grand old time mid lane.
Yep, and down bottom, Xiao 8 defending his tower like a noble Centaur should, very close to level 6, just a few creep kills away, and as always, Stampede is a big ultimate.
Yeah, just not there. He doesn't have the levels yet. It's coming. It's coming soon, and this is a good time for Newbee to make a move. Even if they can't gank Burning, try and kill off a support or two.
Well, now they may be able to. His Song is down, so...
Yeah, that's right. With the Song down, it's like the ideal time to do it, I would say.
Yeah, and Tree with kind of an interesting build as well, getting that value point in Nature's Skies here at level 4, so he wants to be a little sneaky in these early levels.
Yeah, Banana didn't really do much in late stage. He just sat in the jungle and stacked, and that's kind of the old style of Tree. The new style is generally that you get boots first, and you just start going for level 1 Leech Seed ganks, but we didn't really see any pressure from him.
Yeah.
A few months ago, that would have been completely normal, but recently, that's like an unusual and kind of unexpected way to play Tree.
Yeah, the Leech Seed plus the huge right clicks at level 1 are just so ridiculous. And you see Trees looking for every opportunity to go blow for blow at level 1 these days, more so than just sitting in the jungle. But now that Xiao 8 is level 6, he'll smoke up with San Sheng. They'll move into the Radiant jungle. They might find Lanham, and uh-oh, there's your disruption. This is an easy setup for the Centaur. Big Brad comes in. He actually whiffs the hoof stop. Oh, no. Now the arrow flies through. It connects with Xiao 8, and he is on the run. That's a defensive stampede. And DK almost turned it around to grab a kill of their own.
That was pretty damn early. That was at least like a half second or more early. That's costly.
That was...
The one thing they could have done there was also just pop Centaur ultimate immediately and just go on him. but they wanted to try and set up a hoof stomp, and in the end, it amounts to nothing. That's the Centaur ult, not revealed, but the first one wasted, and they even force out how to rotate bottom lane. This is a lot of space for Ice Ice's top, for Mushi, or for Lana mid, I guess.
Yeah.
Mushi's come, and Burning has his relic. That's a 12-minute relic.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have Burning free farm. He's even on farm with the Slark, but that Hand of Might is still trying to kick in. Only 1,100 gold in savings for the old Murloc there. Down bottom. Oh, thought they were going to try and sandwich Burning, but no, not quite. So
I don't really mind the Midas. I think if the Centaur is having a good time, then you skip it, because then he gets the best blink. Your Viper has an early mech, and you just 5-man. But given that the other two cores got shut down, they're just thinking, like, we're not going to win fights convincingly in 5v5 now anyway, so we have to give ourselves a chance late game.
yeah.
But it's just, you're trying to go late against Naga with a lineup that doesn't go that late. It's not a great situation.
Up top, Shadow Demon gets off the defensive disruption, but Mushi will be standing right there, and MMY actually snipes the kill with an arrow to the face. Now, look at this support Mirana build here. No points in Starstorm. 3-2-1 at level 6. So all about those sacred arrows.
If you max arrow, then you have to hit it. It's psychological.
Yep, that seems to be working so far. There are some TPs in. How? With an invisibility rune, looking for initiation. They've already used the Stampede, but they have no detection. The Moonlight Shadow will prove effective. Arrow will be off the mark. And they will just spread out. MMY doesn't have a TP scroll, but will move into the trees. They see him. And, wand charges, leap.
He's just wasting time here. They'll get the kill, but it's 4 heroes hunting to support Mirana. And meanwhile, mid lane,
and they can't find him.
He has no TP, though. So, like, at some point, they... Oh, did they not see that he didn't have a TP?
They're just going to let him go. Look at all of this time wasted, LD. This is a value Mirana up here.
MMY. He's sniping everybody with arrows. He's creating space for Burning for the rest of his team, and
this guy.
Newbee just get nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, leaving him there, he's going to be stuck there for a while. Courier is trying to come and deliver a TP scroll. Maybe not. I guess he'll be stuck here for like another 20 seconds or so.
In the mid lane, Mushi, he gets stunned up by Xiao 8. They pop the mech, and they drop the hammer. He will fall. And meanwhile, up top, Newbee diving the tower.
He can't connect on these leaps.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why we see Loda and quite a few other players go for the early blink nowadays, because it makes your leap much easier to hit. It's not like an instant movement spell. So when you leap, they have the chance to react and juke it, but if you blink right next to them and then leap, it's much harder to dodge.
Yep.
And without a blink, and without connecting on his leaps otherwise, this Slark has really not done much this game.
Yeah, so MMY TP's out of the danger zone there, as it were. Mid-tier 1 tower takes a little bit of damage, but ultimately Newbee not finding too much around the map right now. Lanham getting stalked by Banana's tree. He will throw a ward down. The tree will scout it out, and they should be able to counter it. Out comes the Leech Seed, and Lanham in big trouble. Xiao 8 hasted up, comes in with the hoof stomp double edge, and they'll give that last hit to the tree as he branches him down.
And they should even be able to de-ward this. I imagine sentries are on the way now. In fact, 4 are coming, so
there you go.
That's a lot of wasted time by Lanham. Looked like it would be a big play, but
that value point, the Nature's Guys, and in the mid lane, Moo takes an arrow to the face. MMY once again from downtown. Earth Splitter flies, but the defensive disruption stops it from doing anything. So that will be a...
When you run Carry Naga, you can't ask for a better start than this. Like, Burning has not had to do anything this game except last hit creeps and farm his jungle. Though he used Song got ganked once, he used Song. They never put any more pressure on him after that, and
yep.
Naga is getting stronger by the moment.
They're letting Burning do what Burning does best. Sit back and farm. Land those CS, and
it's a bit low on mana is the only issue with this build. Like, you just go straight Bassi, you don't even get the complete Reign of Aquila. He doesn't have any allies that can give him mana. Do they have any arcane boots? No, none. So.
No, and he doesn't have a bottle either. You see some Nagas will bottle Crow as well in the jungle.
Normally more a mid build, but I honestly wouldn't mind something. Like, at least one stats item. Either way, he does create a mirror image, and he's still farming quite well, but it's just being forced to go back to Fountain a few extra times.
Yep, and doing what every good Naga should, splitting up those illusions, farming the bottom lane and the jungle simultaneously while putting the real Naga back in the well. But Lion will actually find a kill on the Slark in the bottom lane.
Oh, my bad, guys. My bad. Meanwhile, mid lane, off a big engagement, breaking out Moo. Going on to Ice, tries for the TP out. There's no overgrowth. He's going to make it out.
And Moonlight Shadow deployed as well. He actually did deny the tower. Now Mushi, the target of choice. They may be able to bring him down. Dire Sentry does come down, but he'll just walk out of it. They don't have the slows or the ensnares. Mushi's just fine. Arrow flies through, hits the Shadow Demon. Mu TPs, actually cancels it. Wants to try and save his Shadow Demon buddy. Won't be successful on that front, but they might be able to get a counter kill onto Mushi.
And Bernie got a tower while this is going on. So they lose 2. Somehow the Lion managed to solo kill the Slark. No idea how that happened. My best guess is he was just running around on fairly low HP and just got fingered.
Yeah, gave him the finger, dude.
Because the finger was used there. And often if you're a Slark player, you'll just be like, you know what? I have my ultimate. I can just live life on the edge and then run into the shadows and quickly regen back to full HP. But it's still a great trade for DK. They give up a core, but they get a tower for Burning. Burning's still not dying, and he's got his ultimate, so he should be fine here. Can just ult and TP out.
Yep, there you go. Ult, TP. How does have the Blink Dagger now, so it does make the Pounce life a little bit easier, and still using that Hand of Midas, so getting a little scarier. But look at these Naga illusions already just doing so much damage to Banana. Almost takes down the tree and forces out a salve. Just from the Radiance burn.
Meanwhile, there's the mech. Mushi is going for the Fada build here. He picks up a mech on the Troll, and it's kind of unusual. On paper, you look at Troll, and before he got reworked to have the new whirling axes, he used to be more of like a AFK right-click or carry in pubs, but I really see Troll as more of a utility hero nowadays, and I quite like this build, to be honest.
Uh-oh, Xiaowei initiates. Mushi going to be the first to fall. Hal connects with a beautiful pounce. In comes Ice Ice Ice, though. Throws out the Earth Splitter. Shadow Dance from Hal, trying to dive MMY. Will get caught in the ensnare. Mana Drain from Lanham. A living armor helping to keep him alive. The arrow will connect. And this should be a dead Slark. Yep, certainly will be. While that was happening, the Centaur did get picked off by Ice Ice Ice's Elder Titan.
Yeah, Radiance burned him low, and then the Spirit completes the kill. So, in the end, the Troll dies again, but he's just here for the mech and the ult. Mushi is not the damage dealer for this team, and Courier also took some damage in that fight, but it does live to tell the tale.
Yeah, I noticed this Courier is named MMY. I'm sure there's a funny joke in Chinese there, but unfortunately, I think we're both a little rusty on our Mandarin.
Rusty is a generous word. Incompetent, but when it comes to Chinese, is probably the more accurate one.
I can only imagine, though. Yeah. Wow, that Courier.
Yeah.
That Courier.
And you can't even you can't like copy paste titles, right? So
yeah,
you'd have to like screenshot it, and then the problem is like I don't know how to type those characters, so I'd have to like go through Chinese dictionary.
AKA, we have to wake up Roland and ask him. That's about our only avenue for success here, LD.
Yeah, well, Lysander speaks a bit of Chinese as well.
Oh, okay. Too bad they're both passed out.
Yeah. Too bad indeed. I don't know how well he writes it though.
Right. Well, Burning really starting to pull ahead in his farm, though. 135 CS compared to the 92 of Slark. They were dead even for a while, but this is the power of that Radiant starting to shine.
He really prefers the treads.
Yeah, he does. I noticed that. Interesting.
Very, I'd say like 9 out of 10 carry Nagas that I've seen just go Boots of Travel.
Yep.
The one consideration, I guess, is he hasn't got any stats items yet. So it does help him deal with his mana issues.
Uh-oh, Mushi trying to pressure that tier 1 tower mid. Will get force stab back, and yep, Earth Splitter flies. Kind of off the money, but Mushi actually getting a little aggressive here. Will take a purge from Ulsan Shang. Xiaowei gets hit by an arrow, and defensive disruption will keep him alive. Banana coming in, looking for the overgrowth, connects on a few. Hal will finish off the dark or the Troll Warlord, and now Ice 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 in big trouble. Moonlight Shadow won't be enough to keep him alive, nor will the Force Staff. It's a 3-0 in the mid lane as Newbee gaining some of that mid-game momentum here, right around the 20-minute mark.
They really could have just cut their losses, let the Troll die and backed out, but they tried to fight, and Newbee, this is the moment where they want to start engaging. They have the Slark Blink Dagger. Midas is mostly paid for itself at this point, although not entirely when you factor in the levels. I'd say it's paid for itself. Mu has mech and point booster. Xiaowei has blink and his levels. Like, Newbee wants to be fighting now, and this is that exact moment when DK, they were very strong at ganking because of great arrows by MMY, but their team fight just isn't there without the Naga. They just need to play it a bit safer.
Yeah, and this is that window where even though Burning's farming really well, he's still not really that scary in team fights. Sure, the Radiance lets him farm well, the burn kind of hurts, but he can't just show up to these team fights and start right-clicking people. He's very squishy, only less than 1,000 hit points still to his name, so he will just TP out, and right now DK they have to create some space. They just need to buy time and let Burning hit critical mass.
I see someone in chat saying it's not, I wouldn't say it's fully in Burning We Trust, but when you take fights like that, it's going to make it more and more in Burning We Trust. The team, if they continue to give up bad engagements, will not really be able to do much against Newbee, and it will come down to the Naga. Yeah. But the thing to consider here is the DK have a great supporting cast for Naga. They have the Troll, Mech, and more importantly, the Battle Trance. Also, they have the Elder Titan aura from the Astral Spirit, so it makes the Radiance burn scarier. It just makes all of DK hit harder. And thus, I would never say it's fully 1v5, but I mean, it could be basically Burning doing all the heavy lifting if they have more bad fights like that.
Is under attack.
And don't forget that you can disrupt the Naga and get yourself a temporary Radiance Burn. We saw Sansheng do that with one of the illusions in the mid lane there. So there are some tools that Newbee have to try and deal with the Radiance Naga. And speaking of the Naga here, Burning has moved straight into a Yasha. So another one of those great farming tools, that little bit of movement speed, just lets you be that much more efficient.
Well, it's just slowing down a bit right now, and I think that's to DK's liking here. As long as they're not giving up too many kills. I'm trying to get used to my hotkeys again. We had that like shared observer computer. Where's my net worth? Jesus. We had a shared observer computer, so all my hotkeys are not what I'm expecting.
That's what you get for using those crazy custom hotkeys, LD.
It's more efficient, man.
Like the is under attack.
It's a pointless conversation because most people in chat do not do observing. But
Yeah, that's true.
Needless to say, the default hotkeys are very inconvenient.
I mean, I use funky hotkeys when I'm playing, which I wish I didn't, but now I'm just too used to it.
Well, hotkeys aside, we're gonna see TP out. I thought he would make a go on Lanham. That Slark is very capable of killing Lion right now.
Yeah.
And they're gonna double TP out, but yeah, he's got 600 health.
They'll TP top though. Looks like they may try and set something up on the Big Brad here.
They're gonna smoke. So they're showing Burning's Illusions bottom. They're expecting a reaction here from Newbee. And they'll show Mushi top now as well. And it's saying, oh, Newbee might see Mushi here and try to make a go. Let's bait him, but so far Newbee not taking that bait.
Yep, Jiao just moving around the jungle, farming away. Has himself the cloak now to go with his Blink Dagger. So it looks like just a pipe coming out for the Centaur. And Newbee will actually rotate as well. Sansheng walks right into Mushi. Actually throws out the Purge. He wants to get aggressive here, but he'll get fingered, arrowed, and that'll finish him off. Alanim taking a lot of damage, but Mech picks him back up. Moonlight Shadow deployed. Jiao won't be able to secure a return kill. And it looks like DK will just make the retreat.
Such nice team play. They set up the arrow there beautifully, and then right when the Centaur's about to finish off one, Lanham just turns around, hexes him. They magic stick up, and they get out safely. That was a very clean kill. If they didn't hit the arrow, I think Centaur actually just kills at least the Lion there.
Yeah.
Really well done.
And Jiao still poking forward, trying to bait it out a little bit. His blink will get canceled. Now he gets turned into the fishy. Gets put to sleep by the Echo Stomp. Living Armor comes out, buys him some time. Earth Splitter off the mark again. Arrow flies by.
Slark is coming, though. This is not a good time for DK to fight. They don't have Finger of Death.
Ooh.
They try to TP out. They're going to lose Lanham, but it looks like everyone else will escape. It could have been a lot worse.
They missed the hoof stomp. Lanham almost TP's out, but they burst him down.
Mushi doesn't have mana for TP. He's got to wait 25 seconds. It looks like it won't matter.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
This is still okay for DK. Getting a kill here or there and just spreading the map is pretty much what they want. Naga's free farming. She's split pushing. She's 2k up on a Slark, even with the Slark Midas. Actually, not as far up as I would have expected, but I think that is that coming down to tower gold? No, towers are actually in DK's favor. So yeah, I guess Burning just a lot of these are jungle creeps, which don't give you a ton of gold. And end of the day, he does not have that many kills.
Yeah, and Slark has been moving around, being a little more aggressive as well, and looks like Hao will get a tower kill, so that will close the gap a little bit, but he may pay for his greed. Will pounce, and blinks just in the nick of time, and he'll be okay. It looks like Slark is working on an Eye of Scotty, has the double ultimate orb so far, so tanking up a little bit here, and we'll have that utility slow before too long. Actually, just about 500 gold away from the Scotty itself.
Hao's getting pretty scary, and Slark is not a terrible late game hero by any stretch. He's really nice against heroes like Lion that have these very powerful disables, but if you just Dark Pact at the right moment, they're completely useless against him. He could go pretty hard in these fights, but not sure he'll carry them alone. I think ultimately for Newbee, they need good initiations from the Centaur. That will be the biggest tide turner for them. And whenever Centaur ults, you can just song and turn the fight. So as Burning approaches level 16, DK are going to get a new insurance policy with much lower deductible, you might say.
Yeah, man. Burning does have about 4,200 gold sitting in the bank, so he is still farming quite well, even though his inventory hasn't been reflecting it all too much. MMY has also picked up a gem on their support Mirana, so DK looking to perhaps snipe some wards, get a bit of map control coming out here. And Newbee are starting to group up around the Roche Pit. We do see it get pinged out by the Mirana. I don't think they want to go for it quite yet. Naga Illusion scouting it out and still being irritating, and making sure DK have plenty of vision around the map.
Yeah, not going for Roche just yet. It's really tough to go into the pit against DK.
Yeah.
They have Naga Illusions to scout. They have Elder Titan, who's amazing around the pit, and they have Song. And if you get caught there, they can just Song, throw an arrow, cancel the Song at the right moment.
Or you can just use Song and snipe the Aegis and walk away.
If it's low enough, you can just snipe it as well. So Newbee are just not feeling like they want to take a risk there. They'll go for a tier 1 bottom instead. Maybe threaten a tier 2. I think at this point they're giving up their tier 1 mid if they do that. There's no glyph available, and Burning is pushing in pretty aggressively.
Yeah, they will press forward though. Slark actually cuts the wave. Ice comes in and just harasses with the Spirit. Radiant will burn their glyph, and meanwhile in the mid, Burning still just pushing away. There is a rotation in from the Centaur as well as the tree. But Naga will slither her way towards the top. Newbee might be able to grab 2 towers out of this exchange though. Pressuring the bottom tier 2 very hard. Earth Splitter comes through. Again, off the mark, only clears creeps.
This is where Troll really excels. They actually get a tier 2 first, and they damage the tier 1 mid. So Glyph, of course, being used there by DK wasn't available for Newbee, but still, nice trade for Newbee, or for DK in the end.
Yeah.
They might give up Roche here, though. I'm not too sure if DK will be contesting this. No, they're not going Roche. Okay. They're just very scared about the Aegis getting sniped. Because if they get the Aegis sniped, then I think the game just completely turns at that point in DK's favor.
Yeah, I think it's just too risky to try and go for Roche without trying to burn the Naga ultimate first. Especially since Naga's level 15. If they can catch him out and force the cooldown, then perhaps they could go for it. But just running in is a little bit too risky. Naga will just right-click a heart.
Yeah.
So,
Give
Burning
me HP, says Burning.
Burning went from kind of an easy kill to he's pretty tanky in the matter of a couple of clicks there. So, first big item following the Radiance has been achieved. But
yeah, I imagine we'll see the Mantha style coming next, and Burning, he's slowly closing in on late game, but that Slark is keeping up quite nicely. Actually,
yeah.
Hao is at 14k net worth.
I'm still impressed at how well Hao has been farming. He's just looking good now. The Eye of Scotty's complete, another 2,500 gold already. He's keeping up with Naga pretty darn effectively. The issue is that 6-slotted Naga versus 6-slotted Slark, well, we know which one's scarier, and of course it's the Naga. So I think Newbee's window of being able to shut down this Naga is starting to close a little bit, or at least coming to an end.
The one thing that the Slark is better at is just killing individual targets.
Speak of the devil, he'll find Mushi here, but Mech and Moonlight Shadow will buy him some time. Earth Splitter chips down Hao a little bit. Stampede used by Zhao 8. And they'll find Mushi. That'll be a dead troll to get this fight started, and it looks like that's where it will end as well. Singleton pickoff.
DK just don't want to take fights. They see one hero gets caught and they just back off. We've not seen them really go for any kind of engagement in a long time, and I think it just speaks to their lack of team fight. They have Elder Titan Naga, that's amazing, but there's nothing on top of it. There's no Darkseer, there's no Tidehunter, there's no Centaur, there's no Enigma. I mean, there's just nothing to really follow up the song. So it looks like DK just want to split push it out.
Yep.
And not take 5v5 engagement.
Yeah. That was a pretty costly gank, though. Yes, they got a kill on Mushi, who was doing Ancients, but that was a full 5-man rotation from Newbee, and Burning still had a lot of space to continue farming away. Already another 2,000 gold following that Heart of Tarask pickup. But Newbee getting some map control here, using that gem on Banana. Arrow flies through, but will be off the mark.
Even when they're invis, he's still almost hitting his arrow.
Yeah.
MMY, really showing off.
Yep, but now Newbee move right into the Roche pit, since they cleared out the wards. DK may be suspicious, but they don't seem too interested in mounting any kind of defense.
I guess the one main spell that Song sets up for is Arrow.
Yeah,
but
Earth Splitter is about it.
Yeah, that's true. But it's still... It's not really lockdown, per se. And that's where we're going to see Newbee. Soon they'll be picking up a pipe on Zhao 8, it looks like. They're a pretty tanky lineup in general. Moo's got 2k HP, Hao's sitting on a bit more. And they're going to try to Roche here. It's dropping low.
It has been scattered out. DK know exactly what's going on. They have a song available.
It's very risky.
Arrow will actually hit Roche. They will repel for now, though. And Lanham gets initiated on. Uh-oh. That's a dead line to get things started. Mega kill streak coming out for Hal, but Song from Burning. He'll just TP home. A little bit lackluster there. Almost finishing off Banana with the Earth Splitter, but just not enough. Now Ice. He'll get caught, but he does TP out in the nick of time.
Oh, they actually got off the disruption, but he got disrupted at well.
Wow.
I saw the arms fly. I'm like, oh, we must have just fallen short, but actually got off the disruption there.
Doesn't get any closer than
I
that.
don't know how that's even possible, but somehow it is. I feel like there's a lot of PAL puns to be made here.
But that will be a Roche for Newbee, and sort of contested by DK, but in the end, Song gets wasted, and they secure the kill. And it is Slark that picks up the Aegis, and Newbee actually getting a lot of momentum here. About 5,000 gold, but 12,000 experience in their favor. Naga still farming slightly ahead of the Slark, but Aegis makes this a whole lot more difficult for DK.
They're strongest on the high ground, I guess, is the main thing. They've got the level 3 Naga ult, so 1 minute cooldown there, but I think Newbee can start to try and starve them out. Maybe they can't starve out the Naga, but the other heroes can be penned up inside the base pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at net worth, now we're starting to get to that point of, in Burning we trust. He's still #1 on net worth, but the rest of his team struggling to find farm.
I don't think this is a Naga 1v5 kind of game, honestly. Like, I think a farmed enough Slark, Centaur, and they've got a great backup support in the Shadow Demon, who can, as you mentioned, disrupt Naga or her illusions, get his own. I'm not so sure Naga can do it 1v5. They're going to need the rest of the team to step it up, and, well, it'll start with getting the initiations off, they're going their way, instead of what happened last fight, which was Lion just got caught, and he's the key initiator at this point for DK.
Yeah, absolutely. They need the damage from that Finger of Death to secure these kills. Meanwhile, speak of the devil, Moo actually gets caught by an Earthspike Finger, but in comes Banana, connects with the Overgrowth, and that'll be a dead Viper to get things started as Elder Titan finishes him off with an Earth Splitter. Burning, pops the ultimate, and just TP's out. Lana might get left behind. Whoa, playing with fire there as he does TP to safety. Meanwhile, at the Tier 2 tower in the top lane, DK deploy the Moonlight Shadow. How? Doing some fancy work around the tower, and he'll actually blink forward here. Can he find a pounce? No, he cannot.
Oh, he's going to get... Ooh! That was almost a reverse no-scope from him. He leaps down to the low ground, spins around, and then lets an arrow fly, whirling here and there, but not enough to get the kill.
Yep. Some intense acrobatics there from the Mirana. Ultimately, DK still come out ahead. They get the kill on Viper, and I think they entered a decent streak. Yeah, that's 600 gold going the way of Ice Ice Ice. So he's been...
That's the kind of fight DK won, where they just start with the Lion jumping in, not with Lanham getting caught by Slark off the bat. If they can do that, then it's not going to be a 1v5. It's going to be Burning with a lot of backup. Then it allows Ice 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 to kind of calmly, survey the battlefield, find a good opening for his combo, and yeah, it's just a much better way to engage for DK.
Yep, Ice 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 up top, throws out the Spirit onto Hal, looking perhaps for an Echo Stomp, but no, just harassing him back. Mushi continuing to clear out Ancients here, has now picked himself up a Talisman of Evasion. I wonder, probably a Halberd coming out for the Troll based on his utility items so far.
Yeah, Halberd's not too bad here. Slark, although Slark does have a VKB, Viper not going for one. Yeah, Halberd, the Evasion's still always decent, so it could be Halberd or Butterfly. Butterfly, obviously, the better late game item, and casual no Talisman is quite a value item. What they'll say, though, is Mushi going for Mech and Vlad's. His HP pull is quite low.
Yeah.
And he has one, it looks like he's got some of his stats stolen as well from Slark, but even when you remove those, normally you'll see, like, we used to see drums a lot, occasionally items like Sanjin Yacha on Troll, and you want something to buff of his HP pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get some health back now.
So that helps, but yeah, he has a lot of armor. That is the nice thing about those two aura items, but yeah, you need that HP buffer at some point here. Actually has no stats items whatsoever except for the mech.
Yeah, and that's not exactly a ton of stats.
Yeah. MMY gets initiated upon here. The Centaur pops the ultimate. They'll be able to chase him down, and oh, you're right. That hurts. Who picked it up? Let's see here. Yep, now they've got the double gem. That's actually a huge kill. That's a big swing of net worth.
Against Tree, it's annoying if you don't have a gem, because he can just walk around invis, and now they've got to worry about aggressive observer wards. So farming has become a little bit more dangerous for the support.
Yep.
Or basically the non-Naga heroes on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Burning grabs himself an invisibility rune here at the 36-minute mark. And he has now picked up a Diffusal Blade, so Mana Burn is online. San Shang in the mid. Will get initiated upon by Lanham, but won't be able to finish him off. He'll try and TP home, and he will survive, but just barely. Shadow Demon didn't have that disruption cooldown.
Well, DK gonna take it late, and Newbee even though none of these heroes is a hard carry, I think the combination of the three is pretty scary late game. And you can see how just destroying Mushi top lane. He doesn't have a TP for 3 seconds, and this might be his death.
Yeah, living armor buys How some time. Moonlight Shadow keeps Mushi alive.
One more Dark Pact. Oh, he's not gonna. Is he gonna find him?
Ooh, close. But Mushi will TP out as he sips up that bottle. So good work from the Mirana. Does keep Mushi alive. But yeah, not much DK can do right now. They're just trying to move around the map and give Burning more time to hit critical mass. He does have another 3,600 gold to play around with, so he's getting there slowly but surely. But Newbee are still continuing to find a lot around the map. Slark holding on to the Aegis, though, getting pretty close to that expiration date. And, yep, Burning will just TP out as well.
MMI going back for drums.
Wow.
He's just feeling a bit too squishy, and at this point realizing he's probably not farming a big item like a Hex. We saw the early Ultimate Orb pickup last game, but at this point, MMY, just something to help the team in the upcoming fights. Not waiting for like a D60-minute tier 4 type item.
Yep. This is the game of hearts here, LD. Viper picked one up just a few moments ago. Now Centaur grabs his. And, of course, Naga had one
this is where
a while ago.
Naga doesn't... She's really not that scary when you've got ultra tanky cores. Like, a lot of the damage comes from Radiance Burn, Riptide. Neither of these scale. They're flat damage boosts, and... Well, yeah, the illusions still hit pretty hard, but even Diffusal Blade is... if she finds one hero and drops her whole army on them, they're in trouble, but killing off 2-3, you're not going to bring them down with the AoE, so I really like the way Newbee's itemizing this game, and I think it's going to... The Naga will still be very effective against the Shadow Demon and the Tree to some extent, but these triple tanks, not so much.
Yep. In the mid lane, DK getting a little aggressive here. They all start doing some serious damage to this tier 1 tower, but again, Burning just... songs and TP's home. MMY gets initiated upon by the Slark around the backside, and it will end as a tower for Mirana exchange.
Out trying to leap up to the high ground. Doesn't actually have a Basher yet, though, so not able to stop that TP. And right as I say that, the Basher is delivered.
Yep,
so next time, won't be Sluggy. That is like the 3rd or 4th time Hao has just found a kill on the backside of the fight. And to see him now trying to find Lanham, but Lanham puts on his Nikes.
Yep, just a little too elusive. Doesn't have a TP for another 7 seconds. Connects with the Earth Spike onto Hao, and he'll have a blink up in just a couple seconds. There it is. Turns him into a fish. Blinks into the trees, and Xiao was ready and waiting for him, but
they're still chasing.
Ice a step ahead. A Purge even used onto Lanham. Another double stun coming out. Centaur doesn't get off the hoof stomp. Moonlight Shadow as well, and somehow this Lion does it. He survives. Naga Siren will be able to finish off the Shadow Demon in return.
And that's the gem on the ground. Looks like Hao is going to pick it up. And
too bad those illusions can't carry items.
Yeah. It's getting to the point where the Slark can solo kill almost anyone. Naga's the main exception, but it makes it so that DK have to stick together. And whereas you look at Newbee, their heroes are not as... There's not a great ganker on DK's lineup. Like, maybe the Lion +1 or 2, but there's no one hero that can just walk around killing everybody. So it's getting... Yep. I actually think the Slark is going to continue to be a big problem as the game goes later. He gets an Abyssal Blade. That's an easy kill on the Troll, the Lion, the Mirana, pretty much everyone, aside from the Naga.
Naga does have the level 2 Diffusal Blade, so his damage getting a little more impressive. Does have a double damage rune on right now. They'll find Xiao in the bottom. Last hits in only 40 minutes.
It only takes one good team fight at the same time for DK. As scary as the Slark is running around on his own, the Elder Titan Naga combo is much scarier in a 5v5 engagement.
Yeah.
Let's see if they find it.
And look at Banana here, taking a lot of damage, gets a 3-man overgrowth to make the escape. Hao, perhaps looking for a blink. He does now have the Abyssal Blade. Looks like some more of that Kale coming out here, LD.
That is not Kale.
I've seen the players type that before, though. I can't remember what it means.
Okay, this one was not an ECL pause for once. This was actually a player pause, guys, so...
Yeah.
No picnic. We've had quite a few admin pauses in this tournament.
That's true. But look at Hao positioned here on the other side of the trees, looking to blink over perhaps to find some initiation, but he doesn't have buyback here, so if Hao gets caught, this could actually be disastrous for Newbee. Illusion nearby, trying to scout him out, but they won't find him. Instead, DK will just get a tier 2 tower following that kill on the Centaur.
He's got Abyssal. This is very scary. Any hero on DK that gets caught out, even, I don't think the Naga dies just to the Slark, but to the Slark +1. If they get like a Centaur hoof stomp perfectly chain stun, they might even be able to kill him with those two. So, it would be close.
Yeah.
Although as I say that, Burning's almost got his next item, so we'll probably see Boots of Travel next. Maybe he goes straight into the Butterfly, assuming of course after he's saving for buyback along the way. But he's getting near that next item nonetheless.
Yeah. And
So soon it'll be 6-slotted Naga, and then that's the point where can Naga win the game at that stage? If
Yeah.
not, your Troll has gone pure utility. He's not going to carry this game, and if it goes late, I think Newbee's Tricore might actually be stronger.
yeah, Mirana's not going to be carrying a hell of a lot either, and nor will the Elder Titan. So Hao initiates onto Mushi, but he'll take an arrow to the face. Mushi just turns and starts clicking away at him. Finger of Death, Earth Splitter as well. That's a dead Slark, and he is caught without buyback, LD. Hand in the cookie jar, as they say. 80 seconds, no Slark.
Finally, they're able to punish him. He's been doing that all game. For like the past 20 minutes, he just runs around and picks heroes off all by his lonesome, but it just took so long to kill the Troll, and I think that's where the Heaven's Halberd really paid for itself. Without the evasion, he gets that kill and gets out, but with the evasion, MMY gets to be the hero once again. Another clutch arrow.
Yep. And can DK find anything off the back of this, though? Top tier 3 tower takes heavy damage from the Naga illusions. Huge response from Newbee. They still have 50 seconds without their Slark. DK will take the tier 2 tower in the mid lane as well.
And now it's swinging back towards DK. Getting the pick off there, finally finding the openings, and no buyback on Slark. They take a tier 2 mid. They almost bring down the tier 3 top. Yes, there is living armor, and if left unchecked, it will go back to full HP, but they still have taken a tower permanently, and against Tree, that's the big thing, is not just damaging them, but bringing them down. Now they get a Hex, so they've got double Hex. 4-staff Hex on the Elder Titan, and Blink Hex on the Lion. And they're just going to go Roche.
Oh, this is such a smart play right here. 15
Slark has to
seconds
buy
without
back if they want
Slark.
to fight, but I don't think he can.
He can't. 250 gold, certainly not enough, LD.
Yeah, he's a wee bit short.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Abyssal. He didn't save for buyback. Yeah, it's a scary item, but if you get caught like that, it spells doom. He will respawn here, but I don't think they'll have enough time to truly contest this Roche. No towers to port to, and Xiao Wei, he'll get turned into a little piggy there. Uh-oh, Slark actually on his way in. He could potentially go for an Aegis snatch. He hops in, he grabs the Aegis, and the last hit on Roche! Oh my gosh, the timing was impeccable. Now DK on the back foot, burning, pops the ultimate. Moonlight Shadow deployed as well. How? Making the plays. How is he doing it, LD? Oh my gosh.
Oh, and he didn't even have to buy back. That's the worst part.
I can't believe it. The timing was just so perfect. He just ran straight up, pounced right in. Oh.
Last hit the Roche, grab the Aegis.
My gosh.
That is painful.
So smart. So smart. That was really clutch, though.
A head scratcher. Like they can't really stop the Slark from doing that. I mean, he can always just threaten to jump into the pit. I guess they could have tried to anticipate it, dropped an Elder Titan Spirit at exactly the right moment. Maybe had a Naga illusion there so he can't use the Blink Dagger into the pit, but end of the day, you just got to take your hat off to Hao. That was a really great play, and DK clearly were not ready for it.
Yeah. That
just turned the game.
It really did.
I mean, if DK get the Aegis there, with Boots of Travel on Naga, they've got probably 3 lives for Naga, or 2 lives with a Butterfly. And then they can just use the illusions to just right-click on buildings. And Naga with a Manta and Butterfly illusions, she'll kill the towers. Like, they will have to come out and fight. And then you're fighting up a hill into an Elder Titan Naga. Song, arrow setup, it's just very difficult.
Yeah, I think DK are still in pretty good shape. If you look at that gold graph, there's been a huge swing of momentum with DK actually taking the lead. Newbies still have a huge experience edge, but at this point, that graph is borderline useless. Naga's still very scary, and I think DK can sort of slow siege their way into a victory here. The tree will make things a little more difficult in terms of healing up these towers, but they can just wait out the Aegis for the most part, I think.
Maelstrom Viper. All right, we're getting a Mjolnir here. They need more ways to deal with these illusions. Actually, I think it's not a bad item. It's a little bit unusual on a ranged hero with a attack modifier, but at least for the shield on your teammates, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah.
The one other point, I guess, in the Roche fight is Hao had BKB. He didn't actually use it. So, in theory, there could have been a song, but you can't assume your opponent's not going to BKB. And they didn't even see him coming anyway. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of theory crafting at that point.
Yeah. Lanham has now picked up a Yule Scepter on the Lion, so they do have a reset tool under their belt, which could come in handy. And that's Shiva's now out on the Centaur. How in the front lines. Looking for someone to initiate upon.
Oh, are DK gonna take the bait here? No, they're not. They're not biting. They're just hiding.
They're in kind of an awkward position here. They're all spread out around this side shop. If any of them get scouted out, this could be disastrous, but won't happen. They will TP to safety. Lanham just hanging out for now. And
just relaxing in the trees.
Yep, Burning still just farming away.
So Newbee at this point stealing the Aegis and getting a new lease on life. This is where they want to make something happen. You see them get very aggressive.
Yep, we sure do, and that's a dead Mirana to get things started. How in the front lines with the BKB on. Pops the Abyssal onto the Mushi, and Mushi will be okay.
Lanham blinks in, checks the gem. Nicely played, but they still don't have their Mirana here.
Yep, Naga looks like he just wants to go straight for the mid lane.
Yeah, Naga can force at least 1 or 2 TPs back here. Newbee will force out a glyph from DK, but they'll have to send somebody back to defend against Burning.
Yep.
Still, do they get a tier 2 off?
Slark and Centaur do not have TPs, though. So Naga could still do crippling damage here. It's just a Shadow Demon for now.
Dysfunction loses half his health.
Uh-oh.
While top lane, the engagement does break out. They lose the Tramp Protector, but Hal's going ham. He finds the Lion. He looks for Mushi as well. Where's that bash? Where's that bash? The evasion too strong. No bash. No kills. Burning does manage to bring down the Shadow Demon in the well, but Hal just keeps on diving. He goes for Mushi.
Oh, no.
Now mid lane, Burning takes down a tier 3. He's going for Rax, and an arrow connects on Hal. The bashes are there for Mushi. It's the Heaven's Halberd.
But he has the Aegis. He's coming back up. They might be able to bring him down. Meanwhile, in the Dire base, Burning will TP home after getting the tier 3 tower. Hal comes back. He goes right on to Ice, Ice, Ice. Moonlight Shadow deployed. Can they keep him alive? No detection on Hal. Now he gets turned into a piggy. They need the damage to bring him down. Centaur ultimate will allow him to walk back to the tower. Picks up a casual gem just hanging out on the ground. And Hal makes the escape.
What a game. They did lose the tier 3. They lost some health on their racks. Banana almost died to illusions in the well while that was going on. But in the end, they get rid of the Hal Aegis, and they defend the tier 2. So DK have to be very happy with that latest exchange of events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really smart play from Burning. He was caught in kind of an odd position, a bit too far forward when that fight broke out, and said, you know what, I'm just going to be aggressive here. And it was absolutely the right call. Force Newbee into that kind of panic mode. Do we go all in on this fight? Do we try and base race the Naga? Do we TP back? And it seemed to catch them in a little bit of disarray. They handled it well for the most part, but good call from Burning to try and split up their focus.
They did not have they just do not have a great way to deal with Naga illusions. Like Viper almost died to them. He's going for Mjolnir. It's a smart pickup against the illusions, but I don't know if it'll be enough at this point. You look at Naga, 2,800 HP. The illusions do take bonus damage, but
still,
you need quite a few lightning procs to kill them off. End of the day.
Yep.
And same for Slark. Slark has Dark Pact that's just insignificant amounts of damage. 300 damage nuke. It's on a fairly low cooldown, but it's not enough. I would say they need 2 heroes to bring down the illusions. Shadow Demon +1 or 2 of the core is probably enough. But
the bigger problem for DK though is that Burning he's capped out. I mean, I guess you can get rid of that diffusal and go for maybe something else, but
well, you can do the 7/8 slotted Naga strategy where you have the courier bring you items.
It's true.
I actually saw Burning practicing this at Star Ladder during one of the warm-up sessions.
Okay.
So it's something that he has at least practiced in. It was like just in a warm-up game. I don't know if he's done it in any official matches, but keep your eye on him. Maybe we see him go for a refresher orb, something like a necro book on the courier. He just drops it off, uses it, and then passes items back.
Mushi in some trouble. Stampede used. Where's that Slark pounce? Nope, they'll just sell for the overgrowth, but actually it's a trap. They'll turn it around. Hal gets obliterated. DK, hook, line, and sinker. They'll finish off the Slark. He doesn't have buyback once again. They'll be able to finish off Banana as well.
That's a gem down, boys.
This is what DK was waiting for, and now 90 seconds with no Slark. What can they do here? He just finished his MKB. It's just like the Abyssal Blade all over again, except this time DK have a 6-slotted Naga, and they're going straight for the base, baby.
This might be game. Slark is dead for 70 seconds, and he is by far their highest damage hero.
70 seconds is an eternity 50 minutes into the game here, LD.
Megas.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to stop this.
And
they don't even have a glyph.
They can't base race. Viper cannot base race against this.
He can
they have
try,
a troll.
but yeah.
Troll Ultimate's going to do a lot of work.
Uh-oh, here we go. Xiao Wei hops forward. Damage onto Lanham. The Yule Scepter coming in handy. He'll get turned into a pig straight away.
And Burning's mid taking Rax while this is going on.
Yeah, he's not even in the fight here. Mushi will be forced to TP out, but mid lane of Rax have fallen. Burning just goes straight for the bottom. He says, okay, you guys have that party up top. I'm going to have my own party down bottom. They'll lose their Shadow Demon. It's a support for support trade, but Burning.
Beautiful movement by DK. Ooh. They keep 4 heroes top. Burning goes towards the bottom lane. they'll at least get 1 lane of Rex. 30 seconds on the Slug. I think they get 2 or 3 here. And with the Troll ultimate, which was just used once again, he just pushes so incredibly quickly.
Yep.
Checkmate, I'd say at this point.
Yeah,
that was 2 times how it's playing with fire, not saving for buyback. The second time, it seems like it's cost them, and probably the game.
2 heroes on Burning, they can't bring him down. Now MMY and Ice 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 just taking the top lane of Rax. Slark up in 5 seconds. This might not be Megas, but it's still crippling damage. Melee Rax in the bottom lane, getting that living armor. So there's still a melee standing at the top, a range standing in the mid, and both Rax standing at the bottom. So it's not over quite yet. Newbee have one more chance, but if Hao gets caught with his pants around his ankles once more, then that will certainly be all she wrote.
It's like 1 1/3 Rax, I guess you would say, because the range Rax is just, it's nice.
Doesn't even count as a half. Uh-oh, Burning and Hao, they'll find each other in the Radiant jungle, but Burning, he never even used his ultimate. Hao has the BKB ready. Burning getting chopped down here. The Abyssal, it bashes, Burning to fall. He goes down. That's a mega kill ended. He buys back straight away. Slark gets turned into a piggy. Is there anywhere for Burning to go to? Straight up to the top lane. He wants the Rax. He knows Slark is committed. No TP on the Slark. No boots of travel either. But the rest of Newbee are defending the base.
Well, Hao keeps on going. He's looking for Lanham now, but Lanham has Blink.
Slark needs to be a little bit careful here. His
Base
teammates
illusions.
aren't nearby, and Burning may actually try and cut off the retreat.
Man, those illusions are so annoying to deal with. They have held on to the Rex for now.
Hao is still okay. He's okay at the high ground now, but again, he still doesn't have buyback. That being aggressive in this area down here when his teammates are all at the base and DK are starting to tighten the noose, that's just he's playing very, very risky here, LD.
He feels he needs to make big plays though, because if he lets DK just sit back and push in the lanes and then go Roche, and if they don't jack Aegis again, well, is it Aegis Cheese this time? Yeah, it's Aegis Cheese. Then that's probably checkmate. So
yeah,
it's risky. At this point, I think he kind of has to. Maybe before the first.
But, I mean, even look at his positioning here. He's all by himself. There's 5 members of DK about to jump on him. He finishes off the Mirana, but still no TP scroll. Has a BKB. His teammates are nowhere to be found.
He's almost dead. He almost gets clubbed down. The chase is on.
Ice 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 hops to the high ground, turns him into the piggy. I heard bacon's for dinner, and they're going to fry it up. That's a dead Slark. No buyback once again. This has to be game.
That's it. Yeah, Hao's dead for 90 seconds. No buyback.
Wow. Just
Burning doesn't have buyback,
too
though.
aggressive.
If Burning somehow dies, he just used his buyback. That could be an all-5 mid throne race situation. So think of your DK, though. Even though the Slark's dead, they don't know he doesn't have buyback. They don't want to play too aggressively. Like, he didn't use buyback in last fight. So in theory, killing Burning, getting a big gold bounty, maybe he's managed to farm it. So DK aren't going to force the issue.
True.
It could have been game if they all went 5 top, but they didn't know, so they're going to play it safe.
Yeah, that's very true. And it looks like they will go for Roche here, which is the safer play. The Slark, if they... This is a good way to test if he has buyback.
Yeah,
because
if
with
he
the
buys
Aegis
back,
is cheese,
he's got to run all the way down here.
Exactly. And if he doesn't buy back, you can probably assume that he doesn't have it. And then, depending on how much time they have, maybe they can just go for the base and do some more crippling damage here. So Roche will be under assault. Mushi with the ultimate at the ready.
I'd like to see Burning spend his gold here. Honestly, like, going for the 7-slotted Naga, you know, you might as well just go buy your refresher or your Necro book or something, because his buyback's in cooldown for 3.5 minutes. So, well, we'll see what he wants to do. Not doing so just yet.
Mushi has picked up a Scotty, by the way. So Troll is finally starting to hit a little harder and has some more utility. Roche goes down. Troll's the one to grab the Aegis, and the cheese goes to old Elder Titan there.
Well, now this push is pretty hard to stop.
Yeah.
Burning, no buyback, so I don't think we'll see his hero joining the main fight. He'll just be sending illusions into one lane. He'll be keeping his hero in reserve for a defensive song, but he's the one hero that if he gets caught and dies could cost his team this game.
Yeah.
DK on the brink of another big Chinese Dota tournament championship.
Oh, Xiao Wei, he gets caught by the Lanham Blink. He's turned into a fish. And now it's sushi that's for dinner. But somehow, they're going to try to turn this around. Xiao Wei whiffs the Shivas. Now they're going on to MMY as Hao's respond. Ghost Scepter will buy him some time.
Nice song there.
And, yep, Song the Siren as well. But Burning won't TP out. Arrow flies through. BKB from Hao. Burning with no mana. Maybe needs to be careful here. Earth Splitter will reposition Hao into the way he doesn't want to go. Mushi taking some pretty heavy damage. The rest of Newbee coming in. The Overgrowth, pretty much a whiff. Only connects onto Mushi. Now the rest of DK ready to reinitiate. Hao, he gets turned into a pig. He'll die again. Now Xiao 8 in big trouble. No mana, nowhere to go. Starfall and everything else under the sun. Looks like he will get picked off. Disruption comes out onto Ice Ice Ice, but to little avail. San Sheng, he gets finished off now.
And this time, there's no buyback on Slark once again, and DK have the items to just go for it. So
Yeah.
this is going to be it.
Well, Lanham will go for it, but he gets chopped down right away by the Centaur. Now Mushi in the front lines will go straight on to Mu. Burning, gets Viper struck, but they just don't have the damage to bring him down. He'll turn and reinitiate here. This should be a good game coming out before too long, LD. Xiaowei turned into a pig once again.
They could just hit buildings as well. They're
Yeah.
chasing hero kills now, but no, they'll focus on
There's the
objectives at this point.
Yeah, Glyph comes out. And is the buyback for Burning respawned very soon, a minute and a half. So still being a little bit careful.
Burning needs mana, man. He doesn't have mana for anything now. He actually gets off the illusions, but that's going to be it. And, well, it looks like that's all he needs to kill off Xiaowei. Xiaowei's going to go down. There is still an Aegis up on Mushi. And at long last,
That's it.
Newbee are defeated. They call the GG.
GG, well playeds are in order. What a series. Both games very intense, but DK just find the better of it. That Burning Naga doesn't disappoint, and he hits critical mass. And I don't know, I still feel like Hao played that just a little bit too risky. As you mentioned, they got to the point where you have to take some sort of a risk. You have to make big plays. You have to do something to turn the tides, but he just got picked off without
He could have
buyback.
chilled a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
He didn't have to buy his Abyssal right away. If he wanted to buy it right away, he didn't have to go so hard for kills, but in the end, that's kind of the nature of Slark. You have to just play on the edge a bit. If you're just sitting back and playing ultra defensively, then Slark's not the hero for it. And
Yeah, I mean, his second to last death, first he was outside the Radiant Ancients, and that was an okay place to be. There were some heroes around looking for a pickoff, and after that, he was just farming mud golems, you know, just doing some casual neutrals, and just, it's not worth, man. He wasn't even trying to pick anybody off, just out a bit too far, no teammates inbound, no eyes on the opposition, and we talked about that storyline coming in, but DK, they lost to Newbee in the group stages, got knocked down to the losers bracket in a best-of-1 against Newbee, and here they go. 2-0 in the finals with a one-game disadvantage. Very impressive.
Another Chinese Dota championship for Team
Yeah.
DK. They fell short in WPC Season 2, but earlier this year, they took WPC Season 1, they took G League, they took Sina Cup, now they take ECL. Even the tournaments they're not winning, they're always in the top 3. Like, I can't remember the last time DK's just been flat out knocked out early. It's been quite a run for them, and despite falling a little flat in the Summit, not winning the Grand Finals, they still finished second, and they took EG to the brink.
So it was still a 5v4 nail-biter till the bitter end, so it was...
So you look at this DK team, and you wonder if they keep it up. Will they be the favorites at TI? I think even with the loss to EG, you just look at the bigger picture as well as just the players they have, and if you don't have DK in your top 3 to 5 at the very least, I think you're crazy.
Exactly. I was just about to say I would peg them for an easy top 3. I don't know if they're my first place to win it, but definitely contenders. They've been looking good, and I always think of DK as the team. How do you draft against them? They have such a diverse play style. They have so many different heroes that they can play. They're just they're a very hard team, sort of strategy-wise, of what is DK going to do. You don't really know until they're actually doing it.
Even little things like they pick Lion and they pick Mirana, and you don't really know how it's going to go. Lanham can play both as a support. MMI can play both as a support, and Burning can play a farming Mirana. They've shown all of these things, so it makes it really tough to draft.
Yeah.
Even when they got to the 4th pick of the draft, they pick Elder Titan.
You're still like
the response from Newbee was to ban an Ember Spirit. I think they were expecting, like, for both Lion and Mirana to be supports, and then for a totally different approach to the draft, and maybe not even have Naga as like a ultra hard, like instead of just running. What did they end up running mid again in this game? I'm losing my mind.
the troll.
Yeah, instead of going for a troll, they're expecting like an Ember Spirit, more of a damage dealer. Maybe Naga is coming to fights a bit earlier, but it's just very hard to pick against this team.
Yeah, it
you never
really
know
is.
how they're gonna lane it until all 5 are picked.
Yeah, it's really true. But wow, what a fun 2-game series there.
Well, they actually played the finals as well, which is nice. It took a while. We had some delays here, but guys, thank you for watching. Of course, this has been the ECL brought to you by Beyond the Summit. If you're looking for more Dota, there's Dream League. Go check that out. But for now, it's a wrap. We've got a lot of Chinese Dota coming up the next few days. I believe we have basically all the top Chinese teams, as well as the Good Play Gaming Tournament. So we've got WVW, NEST, which is just a single limb best-of-3 bracket with all the top Chinese teams. We have Good Play Gaming, which is all the top Southeast Asian teams. Coming up, another big tournament, the GEST Challenge. You'll see a lot of the top SEA teams and the top Chinese teams clashing. It's a tournament that started back in 2012, one of the first major post-TI events I ever cast, and It's been fun historically, so hopefully it'll be fun again.
I think we have a Chinese broadcast every night for like the next week and a half. So there's plenty of Chinese Dota, and some nights where there are overlapping events. So you'll have BTS 1 and BTS 2 running simultaneously. So buckle your seatbelts and prepare. Yes, not much sleeping for us at least, but here we get some of this ECL production value and get to see. I thought this would be an award ceremony, but Burning just kind of shuffling off the stage.
Well, I think that's about it. We'll leave the stream up, guys, in case there is a bit of a prize ceremony. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.